taught makeup user, I guess you can say. Everything I learned on YouTube or social media, be it Facebook or Instagram, you know, the young people do. But going into skincare first, I guess you could say my skin is, I don't really have bad skin, I would say. What helps me achieve that is, people probably say all the time, water. Water is very, very important for the skin, for the body on the whole. I drink a lot of water daily. That flushes out the system. Do not sleep in makeup. Constantly clean your face. Try to keep my hand out of my face when possible. Change the pillowcase. Any product, certain products we put into our hair, and then the hair touches the face, that causes breakouts sometimes. So those are a few of the things that help me with the upkeep of my skin. Body-wise, I heard you touch a bit on body-wise in the beginning. I am not a big skincare body-wise person per se. The things I do for my face, I do for the rest of my body. Upkeep with the water, as I said. Cream your skin. I try not to use too much products with fragrances. I just try to keep the skin moisturized as possible. But skincare, I mostly deal with the face makeup wise. Any questions, any specific questions persons may have, trouble areas or something?
I like to keep my feet nice and clean and moist and that kind of thing.
Or your feet. So yeah. You get pedicures and such.
I do them myself.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Okay.
Yes, I didn't even study feet either, but I only recently started to do some pedicures, and I really see the benefit of them. But as I say, I keep learning every day, something new. Every week is something else on the market to keep up with the trends. So I try different things, and that is what we need to do. If something might work for me, it might not work for you. The age, the skin type, the texture, it depends on really you. So you need to find out what works for you and trial and error. And that is, it would work out eventually, would work out a routine and work to suit.
And I believe that some mature people should also take care of their skin too. They might not be into a lot of makeup, but they also should take care of their skin.
Definitely, because I find the older you get, sometimes you don't really want to be bothered with the makeup. So you want your skin to look as best as it can, because you won't be, hiding any blemishes, any spots with the makeup. So from now you're able to upkeep the skin. Just keep it up. No need to stop. Just keep it up.
I have a question.
Sure.
Their routine and night routine, what I should be like, especially for people that ain't got much time. What's the least you could put on your skin during the day to keep it, to get that moisture? And then at night, what's the suggestion?
So for busy persons, when you get up in the morning, one thing you should do is moisturize your face. If you're a sweater like me, because I slightest thing I sweat, and right now I got the fan on me. But we seem to think that if I'm a sweater, I shouldn't put anything on my face or on my body. But when the body is not getting the moisture, that's when it start to produce overly moisture. And that's when you start to sweat profusely. So if you're going to work on the morning, you don't have much time, moisturize your face. You can use, I like to use this, you guys could see clearly, this simple You can see that. This simple hydrating light moisturizer. Just put this on my skin, on my face, not a lot, just probably 2 little pumps, rub it in. If you are not big on heavy foundation, you can use something called a tint. There's something, so it's a mix between a foundation and a cream like that. So it's very lightweight. Maybe some powder, and that is it. Nighttime now, you might want to spice it up a bit more. You still use the same moisturizer, but then you might want to go into a primer, because you really shouldn't be putting makeup directly on your face. You should be having some sort of barrier between the two. So you can use any of these primers. This one is a bit more on the pricey side. I ordered this one. This is one I use. But for someone no beginning, there's this Age of Veil primer, and then there's this Master Prime from Maybelline. So you would use the moisturizer, let it settle for about 5 minutes, then go in with the primer, let that settle for another 5 minutes, and then go in with your concealer. In removing the makeup, then, you remove it with face wipes. You have the makeup wipes. If you don't want to use the makeup wipes, you can also use baby wipes. So use baby wipes sometimes when you can't get the makeup wipes. Or you go in and wash your face, or use the witch hazel. Moisturize it again. There are some night creams I see on the market. I personally don't use them. I would just use the light moisturizer and something on my lips, probably like a Vaseline or something, and that would be my nighttime routine.
Okay, we have one other person join us. We have Isabel joining us, and so I believe we were just asking questions before the official start. Isabel, I don't know if you have any specific questions pertaining to makeup or skincare or anything like that, so that we can have an indication of your interest. In fact, I would like everybody to indicate, even Sister Barbara and Sister Alder, to indicate your interest in skincare.
No, I don't have any questions.
I don't mean, so you don't have any particular interest in skincare, or if you're interested in your overall body, your face, anything like that?
For me, good evening. For me, I simply use cocoa butter product or anything with aloe vera. Simple. And that works for me. I have funny skin that if I use any and everything, my skin start itching, and I probably will end up at the doctor. So those things that work for me, I use.
Anything with aloe vera is good too. Cocoa butter, me personally, that's a bit too heavy for me. But as you said, it works for you. So yeah.
A wash for me and some Nixoderm, and I'm good to go.
Nixoderm, you said?
Yes.
That's an old-time product, right, Sister Barbara?
Old time, it's new time because it's expensive.
You still get it?
Yeah, I bought a good few when I went to the States last, right? So because you only just use a little.
Yeah, because I know a friend used to love to use Nixoderm, but you couldn't get it.
Yeah, just a little. I don't powder my face for work. I guess because of the mask now. Yes, for church I might just put a little thing, but I must have my Nixoderm and a wash. I am not into all the thing like the young people. I ain't got that time.
Neither me. I am not into it either.
So then peace.
I like to watch the Taya spending hours before she go out. The time she put make on her face and it look good, but not me.
Okay, we have Peace. Good evening, Peace. Could you tell us your interest in the skincare? If you have any interest, and we have Sister Gemma, if you want to say your interest, and then we're gonna give it over to Latoya to officially start. Thank you for joining us this evening. There are 8 of us. So we're just giving some time before we get right into it. So Peace, any specific interest so that your interest can be addressed if possible. And Sister Gemma, if you want to tell us your interest in skincare. Okay, Latoya, I'm going to hand it right over to you then. I guess if they have any questions in between, they would do so. But you can go right ahead.
No problem. So what I want to do is to do, I guess, a demonstration on how I do my makeup. I would consider. Okay. Yes, yes.
Or before you start with the makeup routine, I wanted to ask, how did you find out your skin type? Because I know I went to this, I can't remember, some exhibition or something I had. And this lady put your face in this machine, and she was like, oh, well, you have to use Neutrogena wash, but then a facial scrub. But for the regular person who can go out to find out, how do you find out what is your skin type before you try testing products?
Okay, so I don't even know what machine you are referring to, but
she just scanned the outside the face. You just put your face in this thing and it just scan.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember. You like normally Neutrogena people with products tend to do that when they're promoting their products.
Okay. So I don't really use Neutrogena, so I wouldn't know. But as I said, I'm a YouTube junkie, so everything I know from YouTube. But I was doing makeup for about, this is 2022. From the time I was about, could be in my early 20s, because I'm 35 now. So a lot of trial and error happened there. What I can say is I know my skin type is, I am an oily skin type. So I know, especially in my T-zone. I'm going to say a T-zone, right here, right in the middle of my face, I get very oily there. Others might be dry. If you realize you don't sweat really, but your face becomes very, very dry, your skin tone is dry. Then there are others with normal skin type where they're not too dry and they're not too oily. But some persons start out oily and then a couple of years later they go into normal. So your skin type can change depending on the foods you eat, things you drink, maybe the products you use. So it is really trial and error. That answers your question, Shireen. Are you a sweater or do you think you're dry? You're on mute, Shireen, if you are responding. All right, she will catch up. Right, so I wanted to go into a demonstration of how I do my makeup on a weekly basis. So I would consider myself to be a bit more on the extra side. There are persons who do natural, there are persons who would do maybe a soft glam, and there are persons who are going to do the heavy glam. I would say that I more onto the heavy side because I like that look. That's the look that I think suits me or suits the places that I go. I usually start with the moisturizer, so what I've already moisturized my face, and then I move into the primer. So this primer is.
Latoya, before you go on, you gotta tell us how you moisturize your face.
So I just use the same simple light moisturizer. I already moisturized it, so I don't want over moisturize. So just two little drops because it's like a cream, and just rub it into the face and let it sit for about 5 minutes. So it was sitting on my face whilst we were having our conversations. So my face is pretty moisturized right now. Okay. So moving out of the moisturizing, then I'm going to go into the primer. This primer is a bit on the tacky side, and this is what I want because it's tacky. So it is going to, when I apply my foundation, it's going to grip the foundation. So that's actually the name of it, a grip primer. So what I do, a few pumps on my finger, put it on my face. You can use a little, you can use a lot, but because I have to wear the mask, I don't want my foundation to come off on the mask, so I use a bit more than I would if I was not using my mask. So just rub it in. If you guys see me looking here off the side, it's because I have my ring light here. Another important tool when doing makeup. You must have the right lighting. If you are doing your makeup and the lighting is not correct, when you move from in front of that mirror, you might think your shade that you apply the foundation or the concealer is the right one. And when you move, you probably look like what people say, like a ghost, because the lighting is not the best. So you just move it in and let it sit for a while. I would have done my brows with you guys, but I had a procedure done about 3 years ago called powder ombre brows. And this is where you have, it's a temporary tattoo. So basically my brows, these are my brows. My brows don't move. I don't have to do anything with them besides maybe conceal them. But for someone who hasn't had that procedure done or microblading, there's something on the market called microblading, where it's like a tattoo but with a needle and the person draws in the strokes. You would go in with you can go in with a pencil, or you can go in with the eyeliner, the gel liner. So this one, either or. So this one is on the more affordable side, the Elliott Girl. And this one is Anastasia Beverly Hills, more on the expensive side, but nothing is wrong with this Elliott Girl one. So you just use it. It is a pomade. I don't know if you guys can see. You use your brush and you just outline your brows with it. But because mine are already done, you don't need to do that step. So that also allows me to finish my makeup quicker than most persons as well. As doing your brows takes a while. So because my brows are done, I am now going to go in and outline the brows, which I'm going to clean up underneath the brows. I'm not sure if you guys can see clearly, but I have some hairs growing underneath my brows that with the concealer is going to mask those hairs. So I'm going to use I can use a lighter concealer, or I can use a darker concealer, or I can mix both and come up with a shade. So because I can mix them as well, maybe you might have bought the incorrect shade for one of your products, but don't go and rush and throw it away. You might be able to mix it with something else and come up with your perfect shade, or you could use it for another part of your face, like to do a highlight, to conceal or something, and get the effect that you need instead of going and buying a whole totally different product. Any questions on the brows, on the concealer, on the primer? What else I conceal my brows? But you guys can see what I'm doing now? Sorry. Any questions? want to take that as a quiet bunch. All right, so then you conceal, you go in and you clean up as you go. So you blend, 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 blend. Blending with a fluffy brush as opposed to a thick, dense brush. So I've used this color concealer because I like the effect that it gives me under the brow, that light concealed look. I could do the top, but I'm not going to do the top of the brow for time. Also, whenever you're doing your brows, make sure you take your time, because brows are one of the hardest things to complete. I'm going to blend this one out as well. So does anyone on this session use foundation? What brand of foundation? If you do use foundation, which brand do you use? Nobody
Black
uses
Opal.
foundation? Black Opal? How do you find that? You don't find that's a little greasy to you?
It's really thick.
Very thick, yeah. It's a very thick. I used to use that when I first got into makeup, the Black Opal sticks, foundation sticks, but yeah, they are very thick. Because everybody wants, a lightweight something on their face. They don't want anything too heavy, and then the climate we live, so it's very hot. You don't want sweating off, face dripping. It's not a good look. So what I am using here now to blend in the concealer on my eye is called a beauty sponge. And it is damp. It's better to use these here damp than dry, because it softens them and it is easy to blend better. I'm not really an eyeshadow person, so I won't be going into eyeshadow look. Somebody have a question?
Then hi, Samuel and Adeline. We missing Carol. Toya, those are our younger members.
Oh, those are the ones that would really got the questions for me.
Sure, because Samuel is 8 and Adeline is 5, so they might be general skincare. Cara, I don't see Cara there joining them as yet, but Cara might be the one, might be more.
No problem. So anytime you use something wet on your face, and when I say wet, I'm speaking about the foundation or the concealer, you need to set it. So it sets with a powder, a translucent powder, which is white, or you can use one that is your skin shade, like the Maybelline Fit Me in medium deep, or whichever shade you normally use to powder your face. But once you use something wet, you need to set it, or it's going to do a lot of sliding on your face. I'm going to be going into foundation. So I use Too Faced Born This Way foundation. it is a liquid foundation. So you have liquid foundations, you have cream foundations. As I said, I don't like the cream foundations because they're a bit too heavy for me right now. But I have nothing against them. I use 2 pumps of this. If you can see, it is a bit darker than me. I prefer my foundation to be a little dark. And I would lighten it with the concealer and a highlight. So again, I'm going in with a beauty sponge. That again, I just putting it in places that I really need. So you can build your foundations majority of the time. So if you have some marks on your face that need a bit more work, foundations are usually buildable. So you don't need to, if you don't need to cover your entire face, you can just spot check. If the foundation is the same color as your exact skin shade, you can spot check your face. Any questions on foundations? Because I know some persons just going to the makeup stores and just grab a foundation. When doing your foundation, always remember to get your neck, because this is where it sometimes look like you're wearing a mask. Then the foundation cuts off just by your jawline.
Latoya,
Yes, please.
I grew up in the era where we used Pond's cream.
Pond's cream?
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
The pink cream, the pink one, and that did the entire job for the whole day. You didn't have to go into all of
so that cream, is it a cream? Is it a cream or is it a foundation? It's just like a moisturizing cream?
I don't know if your mother remember, but Pond's cream, they still sell Pond's cream, but they don't sell that pink one like the Pond's vanishing cream. They don't sell that one now again. They sell the cold cream, and then there's another one, but they don't sell the vanishing cream again. So you just put on that and you're good to go.
No, not in 2022. In 2022, what I am doing here today will cost you about $90 to $120 if you go to someone to.
I realize it will be things that you're doing there. I say, well, it's got to be very pricey or costly to have all of these different products.
So that is why I would advise someone now getting into makeup. You don't need to go to a makeup art. If you want to, you do, but as I said, YouTube has everything. A lot of the makeup artists here in Barbados also learned from YouTube. Anything you want to know actually is YouTube. Skincare, nails, eyelashes here, everything is on YouTube. It's just a case of practicing, and practice will make close to perfect.
Practicing on money.
Money. You need to buy the products, but there are a lot of products here that are pretty cheap. You have, before you start actually buy my foundation from the supermarket, the Maybelline Fit Me foundation that sells for like $12 to $15 in the supermarket. You don't have to go and buy the $60 US one that I would go and buy. So there are cheap things that you can practice on. When I first started, I used cheap. I didn't have the money to buy expensive stuff. But the way it is right now, everybody's into makeup. A lot of young people are into makeup, and it's something that you could learn on your own. So what I did there just now, I did the foundation. As you probably saw when I just did the foundation, my face was one flat color. So what the concealer that I just did is going to highlight my face. So it's going to highlight the middle of my face. That's why I put it in the middle. It's going to bring some sort of life back to my face as opposed to having it just one flat base. Because I am not blending it as yet, because the longer you leave it on, the heavier it gets. So you will have more coverage. So that's why I'm letting it sit for a bit. Then you're going to be blending again with a wet sponge. And just blend. So normally this whole process would take me about, say, 15 minutes, because I'm accustomed to this process. But for somebody now getting into makeup, I would say to set aside maybe an hour if you know you're going out and you want to try these techniques. Set aside an hour before you know you have to hit the road and practice. Or some days you might be going to town, you might be going to work, practice before you really go to maybe a date night or dinner or something. Just practice before you go out. So I am using a blending sponge as well as a brush. And you want to try to get as close under the eye as possible. I have a bit of lines under my eyes that I am trying to conceal. Yeah, that is the concealer there. After you finish conceal, you're going in, as I said, and set the face with a powder. So I'm going to go in with the translucent powder and set where I just highlighted. You don't need a lot, just press it into the face. And this is going to lock in that concealer that I applied just now. It looks a bit crazy right now, but we'll see at the end. So what I'm going to do now is set my foundation, because I applied the foundation, but I did not set it. So all the other areas outside the face, I'm going to use setting powder. So this is a pressed powder that you can find in the supermarkets, you can find it in the beauty stores, you can find it online. And just set the foundation. And what this does is ensure that maybe if you hug somebody or you are putting on some sort of clothing, that the transfer is not as much as if you did not set.
With all of those things you put on your face, your face don't feel heavy?
So you would think that my face would feel heavy, but because the products that I use are pretty lightweight and not cream products, it's not heavy at all. It just looks like I did a lot. It looks like I did a lot, but
with one face crack up, you put on this thing, you know, sometimes you see people with makeup and they have, I call it cracks.
I don't know the last day I saw someone with makeup with cracks, to be honest. But as I said before, it's all techniques. It's because I know what I am doing, but somebody that maybe used a foundation that doesn't agree with the concealer, not everything works well together. So you might have a water-based foundation and an oil-based concealer. Water and oil do not mix. So it is not going to give you the look, the final look that you really want. So that is why you really need to do your research on the products. So if you buy a product line, say you bought your foundation, Maybelline foundation, I will recommend that you buy Maybelline concealer because the brands usually make the products to suit each other. So when you start to mix brands, that is where you will fall into the category of maybe getting cracks and the foundation sliding or it moving or it turn. Sometimes you have foundations turn in a different color than really what it is. But that is because the products don't work or mix well together. So I am going to wipe off this setting powder. And my face is pretty much finished. Because outside is getting hot, at the moment I use a setting spray. So after I did all of this to ensure that it lasts me for the rest of the night, this says it lasts up to 16 hours. I haven't tested that, but I will spray this on my face and it is going to lock in what I just did. Just let it dry. And then you would move into maybe a lipstick, wearing a lipstick, or if you want to wear lashes, but they already have permanent extensions, here's where you would do those things. So it looked like I did a lot, but I just did a couple steps. Highlight under my eyebrows, foundation, concealer, and then set my face. Any questions? And then
I've seen on TV, but not recently. I've seen on even overseas when I watch the presenters of the news, the reporters, the ones I read in the news. Sometimes their faces look horribly wrong. Let me put it that way. Either the makeup is too thick, or it is not on properly. In some instances, like it in patches or anything like that. What a talk for
that? So usually on TV, the presenters usually have a makeup artist doing their face. But with each makeup artist is going to come with their preference or their signature look. As I said in the beginning, my signature look is a bit heavy. So the look that I give myself is not typically the look that may suit, say, my mom, but that is the look that I am accustomed doing. So if I had to walk in and do her face, more than likely I'm going to try to give her this look, and this look is not going to suit her. So it might be too much. Then the persons may have texture on their skin. So recently I did someone's makeup and I would say my skin is pretty smooth. I don't have a lot of bumps, ridges, scars, anything. So I did their face and it had a bit of texture and it kind of threw me off. But again, if you're not accustomed to working with textured skin or even older skin, you're not going to do it as flawlessly as you would a younger person. So all of those things have to be factored in. So that might have been two of the reasons that the makeup wasn't where it should be.
I might have missed it, but when you said texture skin, what do you mean?
Like maybe you had acne back in the day And you know how acne leaves sometimes like ridges and scars on your face, so your skin is not smooth. So you have like
Okay.
raises or bumps, those kind of things.
So is there anything, but I suppose there's something that you could address it to work on your acne and that kind of thing, to bring it back into that.
Definitely,
Okay,
there are things you can do to get rid of acne, but if you go to a makeup artist to get your face done, there's nothing we can do about the acne there and then. So the skin is going to be textured and it might not have that finished look like what you're expecting to see on TV and in magazines, because there's nothing we can do to really like hide the texture. Texture is always going to be there.
So you could probably give us some hints on the how to work with your acne and make sure that you have that quality texture. Some hints, maybe.
I never really suffered a lot with acne, so I really don't know what would get rid of it. That might be something for a dermatologist, but what I can say is to make sure you always keep the skin clean. If you do wear makeup, do not sleep in the makeup. Don't wear the makeup for extended periods of time. Make sure you have your water intake. That usually helps to clear up the skin. Use the primer between the makeup, between your skin and the foundation. Use a primer so the foundation isn't actually on your skin. If for some reason you have acne flare-ups, try to avoid using anything besides a light moisturizer on your face. You need to let the skin breathe. You need to listen to the skin and not try to clog the pores with more things to hide. We usually want to try to hide the bump or the acne, but that we usually do more damage than good at the time.
With those persons who have I've seen tattoos on their faces and they want to cover them up for some reason. They may have to go up for an interview or they have to do something. How those individuals that try to cover over the tattoos on their faces?
That's an easy fix. I actually have a friend that he was hired to work at one of the banks in Barbados, but he has a tattoo on his face. He did the interview via Zoom. He has tattoos on his hands, like all down here, but obviously he didn't have his hands all up in the ear when he did the interview. He was hired. So now we are going back into office. What he has to do is use same foundation or concealer and just apply it to his face tattoo with some powder to set it, and he's good to go until the end of the day. So that is an easy fix. There are a lot of products on the markets now that aid in covering tattoos. There are some creams. There's the foundation, the concealer. So that isn't a major problem right now. So there may be persons walking around with facial tattoos that you don't even know because you can't see them because they have them covered. Anything else?
Any other questions? That's all I noticed that. Well, but I noticed your nails are done. Any hints? You do those as well? Or you go to get those done?
Actually, no. I go to get them done. The most I do, I would do my face myself, or I'm wearing a wig right now that I applied. This is a lace wig that I applied before this session. So that is as much as I can do makeup and a little here when it comes to myself. But to do it on others, that's a different thing. But I just use myself as a practice dummy, and seems to work for now. But no, I get my nails done every month, but I go to someone to get them done.
So you put on your hair yourself this evening?
Yes, I did.
Great job.
Thank you. So as you can see, I am what the people might call a high maintenance or an extra person. So I have to have a hair of some sort of wig, my brows, my lashes, my nails, the makeup. But I try to be able to do what I can do myself to, you know, cut on cost. But it just makes me happy. So I do what I have to do.
At least like you said, you do it yourself, so that cuts down on the cost. You just buy the products and apply them yourself. But you know, okay, some things I noticed that sometimes you do your face, but sometimes your neck, you can see that, you know, that's just this contrasting different tones of the face and the neck. How do you get that sorted?
So while I was doing my makeup, that's why I told you guys to use the sponge or the brush that you use and bring it down to your neck, because you don't want to cut it just short by your jaw and then it looks like you're wearing a mask. Because sometimes our face might be a different color to our neck. I know for doing my research, the persons would say when you are buying a foundation, try to match it to your neck and not to your face, so that, you know, everything will blend better. But you just need to bring it down. Just bring it down and then set it with the powder so that it doesn't transfer onto the clothes.
I see you set it. When you're saying set it, that means almost like putting the powder on to keep it in position.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So anytime you or someone is doing your makeup and they use something wet, if they use a foundation or they use a concealer, it needs to be set with a powder to ensure that it doesn't move or it doesn't start to drip off the face. I remember when I first started doing my makeup, I would use the the Black Opal foundation sticks, and those are cream sticks and they're very heavy. And after applying them, even though I thought I set it good enough with a powder, by the time I get out and it started to sweat, something you could actually see the foundation like running, and that really is not a good look. So just try to find a lightweight liquid foundation. It doesn't even have to be a foundation, because what some persons are doing is skipping the whole foundation step and just spot checking with concealer. So if your skin is not bad, you don't have a lot of dark marks in your face, you just need to dot the dark marks with the couple dark marks you might have with some concealer, and then just set your face with the powder. So less is always better. So you would look more natural, and you don't have as much product on your face. So when you go into the heat, you're not as affected as maybe me going out into the heat.
The part where you I saw you spraying. I missed just what you said about the spray, the setting spray, and when you put on that spray after you do the makeup, it guaranteed to last. I didn't hear the part where you.
So the spray says that it lasts 16 hours. That's what it says on the bottle.
Okay.
But what we use this spray for too is because I used quite a bit of the setting powder. So sometimes, you know, when you remove some powder on your face, you might still look a little powdery. So what this does, it is going to get rid of that powder look, and it also sets the makeup. This is not a necessity really, because I can go without this as well, and my makeup still lasts to me just as long. But I use it most of the time to get rid of the powder look, and just to fully ensure that my makeup doesn't move. But it's not a necessity, but it's cheap, so I bought it again from the supermarket from Massey for about maybe $15. And you just need a couple sprays, so it's still pretty full.
And what's the name of the a friend of mine told me about these
little squares for when you sweat drink with the makeup that you could dab instead of using a tissue. I can't remember what it calls. Blotting papers or something.
Yeah, blotting papers.
Right, instead of tissue or something will stick to the fit. Right.
I never use blotting tissues, to be honest. I just use tissue. My tissue doesn't stick to my face. It never did. If you have set your face with enough powder, your makeup should not stick to the tissue.
Okay.
Obviously, you're gonna, if it's sweat, because for example, I went out last weekend. The location was very, very humid and I was sweating, but I had my tissue paper and I was just blotting. It wasn't wiping, you just dabbing and touching it up. So you don't really need to go and buy blotting paper. There are a lot of things that are in the industry and the market and the makeup field right now that persons say, oh my goodness, you have to have this and you have to have that. But from doing my makeup from years and years ago, honestly, there are a lot of things that you don't need. You just need a simple foundation, a powder, a concealer, maybe if you like the whole highlight contour look. In terms of brushes, you don't even need, I have a lot of brushes here and I don't use half the brushes. I use about four or five brushes repeatedly. One brush could do multiple things. So I could use this brush and I could clean it off on the makeup white. And if I used to do eyeshadow, I would be able to, do my eyeshadow. This is the same makeup brush that I blended my on the eye highlight with. So I don't want persons to fall into the trap of trying to buy and I wanted to buy everything that is out there. Again, I would say go on YouTube, just type in beginner's makeup and you are going to learn a lot just from watching a few videos. Any other questions?
So just to be clear, before we finish.
As I said, lighting plays a big part when doing makeup. So I'm going to show you my mirror that I was using. So it has lights.
Your camera is off.
It seems that Toya is having some internet issues. Yeah, and Sister Barbara is also off as well. So it seems that they're having some internet. She's with us still, but we're not hearing her. Okay, she's back with us.
Sorry about that, guys. We got knocked off. You guys saw the mirror that I was trying to show you?
So you raised it, but
right, so this is my makeup mirror. With the lighting, so you can see it better. But as I said, lighting plays a big part when doing makeup. You really should be facing the light. The light shouldn't be behind you. You should be facing the light so that you can see everything properly. So you don't need to rush out and go and buy like a mirror like this, but you could use the bathroom mirror or something, but just ensure that the light is facing you.
Operated? The mirror?
If it is
battery operated. I saw it has some extra
there's a slot. There's a slot for batteries, but you can also plug it in. So you have it plugged in right now.
Okay,
With the
wonderful.
charger, like what you use for your phone.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
a mirror, you really do need the extra light sometimes because you don't even see. I mean, with or without makeup.
Yeah.
So just to be clear, Latoya, after you put on this first and the makeup and you spray, it's then that you are applying all the eyeshadow, the blush, and all the lipstick and everything.
So I
After
don't
everything
really use eyeshadow. I don't
Oh,
really
okay.
do eyeshadow, but I would have done my eyeshadow at the beginning because I like to do. If I'm feeling frisky, I would do eyeshadow. But I would do it before I do my foundation and everything because I don't want any fallout from the eyeshadow fall onto my face. And spoil the foundation or the concealer. So I would have done my eyeshadow first, right ashes, and then go on to do my face.
Okay.
If I was to wear blush, I would have done the blush and everything before I sprayed. So spraying is the last item you do because that's where you're locking in everything. The only thing I would do after the spraying is if I wanted to do, the girls do some highlight at the side that with the glitter thing that is shining, his face will be shining.
Right. Right, yeah.
I would do that after I spray. So it's a little wet so that it pops more, but that's the only thing. Everything else is done before the final seal with that spray.
Okay. You look good without anything else, to be honest.
Yeah, thanks. I just keep it simple but extra but simple.
Any other questions? Well, yeah, great job, Latoya. Remember that. Any other questions before we wrap up? One of the things that Latoya said at the very, very start is important to hydrate your skin. Like drink a lot of water, and that is important. And I also heard her mention your diet as well. What you eat is important. So, I mean, apart from applying and not to sleep in makeup, because some people just put it on and go to sleep and that destroys your skin. So you don't want to destroy your skin because it's the largest organ. It's a living organ in our bodies. So we want to thank Latoya. Any other comments? Any other questions before we see how to apply? And Latoya is really close to us, so we can always get a word from her or whatever, because this is Sister Barbara's daughter, and we can always get other information if you want anything about the products or it's a cheaper product to use, but the simple product, I think I see it in town often. Maybe Collins and those people have simple products as well. So if you don't want makeup and you just want moisturize, you moisturize your skin and you drink your water and you take care of your skin. That's really, really important to do. Okay, so thank you so much. I haven't heard any comments or any other questions.
Good session. Good session.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right. Okay, wonderful. Isabel, did you learn anything? Was it of interest to you or anything caught your attention? Hear her say anything. Samuel and Adeline, we thank you for joining us. We didn't see Kara in, but drink your water. Very, very important for your body. Okay, so I'm going to ask Shireen, just thank you so much, Latoya. Really great session. Thank you for sharing with us. And I'm sure we can ask you again. And thank you really for practically showing how we can use it and what we can do, and that you don't, you could do what you do, but remember to take care, drink that water, nourish your body, and really take care of those skins, those pimples, those freckles, those whatever we have. Take care of them because it affects you, even how you apply your makeup yourself. So it's important to take care of the skin itself. I'm going to ask Shireen then, if you don't have any questions, to somebody say something to pray for us this evening.
Dear God, we thank you once again for the insight given, the knowledge that was imparted to us. I pray, dear God, that we will take away some tips about skincare and how we can take care of our bodies. And remember that, our bodies are what houses your spirit, and we must do what we can to make sure that is well taken care of. So, God, we thank you and we pray that you will continue to bless Latoya, and I pray that whatever she puts her hands to do, that it will be well done. I also pray that you'll keep us safe throughout the weekend, whatever we have to do, dear God. I pray for a shield of protection over each and every one of us, traveling mercies as well. And I pray that you will continue to bless our families and heal our bodies. Any concerns anyone has, I pray, dear God, that they will not fail to remember that they can always go to you in prayer, and we can always depend on you for those miracles. So, Father, pray you continue to bless the youth department and everything else that we put our minds to, and all the other plans that we have for the coming weeks. I thank you for that, the fact that they will be, well thought out, and all the presenters will be well prepared and inspired to share with us. So we give you thanks and praise for everything in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thanks again for Latoya for sharing with us. And thank you for joining us this evening. And do have a good week. This weekend is our prayer weekend. Tomorrow at 5 o'clock is our prayer dinner. And then on Sunday, we start at 9 and we have a prayer session. So we're going to invite you to join in prayer. There are many things to be prayer about. Sister Amelia is requesting prayer. She's still in hospital regarding of a new medication that she's going to be taking with the doctor. So she's praying against any side effects and that it would work. So just remember her in prayer. Do have a great weekend and God bless you. Thanks again, Latoya.
Thanks, and you too.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
All right, bye.
Bye. Bye.